You're listening to Forward Faster, bite-sized insights for entrepreneurs.
Hi, welcome, and thank you for tuning into the Forward Faster podcast. My name is Annette Brenner, and I work with NextCorps on the manufacturing extension partnerships side. And so technically, we're federal employees because we work with the federal government ourselves. It's definitely one of the biggest purchasers in the world. And so looking at that as a potential avenue for your entrepreneurial business is a great way to grow revenue and also grow your firm. I'm very excited to be talking with some folks today that are very involved in government contracting. And I know that a lot of us, as we look forward with our entrepreneurial businesses, look to see when can we talk with government contractors and where is the best place to enter? Is it the county, the state, the military? So today we're going to be covering a couple different guests, and then those guests can give you specific information and advice on how to work with their organizations. We're going to start with introductions, and I'll start locally and then go broader. Anna, if you would like to start with an introduction of what you do and briefly tell us who you are and what you do and how long you've been doing it.
I'm Annette Fitzsimmons. I'm the program director for the Monroe County Finger Lakes Procurement Technical Assistance Center, lovingly known as the MCFL PTAC. We provide free government contract counseling to businesses that want to sell to the government. We work with small and large businesses, and we help businesses sell on all levels: military, federal, state, and local.
PTAC is also part of Monroe County, and from Monroe County, we have Liss.
My name is Liss. I'm the Director of Planning and Development for Monroe County, and in that capacity, I am also the Executive Director of the County of Monroe Industrial Development Agency, also known as COMIDA, as well as the Monroe County Industrial Development Corporation, or MCIDC. PTAC is nested within COMIDA, and that's a crucial service set of programs that we offer, as Anna just mentioned, not just in Monroe County, but to the whole 9-county region. Our department administers planning and development services and programs to businesses and communities throughout the county, including economic and workforce development incentives, as well as financing tools. We have a portfolio through our community development division where we work with suburban Monroe County communities on federally subsidized projects. And we're continuing to innovate and build upon the programs that we offer. Our programs for local entrepreneurs is a portfolio that is a work in progress. Currently, what we offer are for entrepreneurs that are seeking to purchase a facility, make improvements to a facility where they're seeking to locate their business and grow jobs. We can offer property tax abatements, sales and use tax exemption, and a mortgage recording tax exemption if that entrepreneur is looking to purchase a building and put a mortgage on that building. Further, we offer an SBA 504 loan portfolio. So we'll work with small business owner and whomever it is that they're banking with to help them get a federally backed 504 loan. This is a long-term fixed rate financing backed by the federal government. We have a revolving loan fund as well that provides gap financing, particularly for businesses that aren't ready to enter into that SBA 504 world quite yet. And we're exploring opportunities to establish a micro loan, micro financing program as well for businesses that have less significant needs that are in those early stages of growth. We have some cash rebate programs that we offer for equipment purchases, particularly tailored to manufacturing businesses, but we're seeking to modernize our operations here in light of the fact that Greater Rochester is such a tech hub. And, we'd love to innovate those rebate programs such that small scale tech entrepreneurs can take better advantage of them. And we're always open to new ideas and suggestions for programs. We want to hear from businesses about what their pain points are and what gaps they're experiencing at the local level in the economic development landscape so that we can try to plug in and meet those needs.
From the Air Force, we have Denise Lee. So I welcome you to please introduce yourself and give us some background as to the position you have and also what your organization does and how it can interact with the companies that we're targeting through NextCorps.
My name is Denise Lee, and for the past 15 and a half years, I have worked within the government at the Air Force Research Lab Information Directorate here in Rome, New York. I began working in the Small Business Innovation Research and the Small Business Technology Transfer Program office as a program analyst. And, 4 years ago, I took over as the program manager and program specialist, and also am the AFWorks liaison. So the Information Directorate is based on C4I, cyber, machine learning, artificial intelligence, quantum, all of these IoT, all of these technologies that really we play a big part in. So working at the Information Directorate, we do research and development and working with small businesses that are interested in not only the SBIR program, but also the actual, if you're a woman-owned business, small business disadvantaged, veteran-owned, and so on. And we try very much to help these small businesses, along with the government, meet solutions that are necessary requirements that our organization has. So if the small businesses have a technology that definitely can fit within one of our programs, we work with them to meet that solution so that we can protect the warfighter. Working with the small businesses on the commercial and the military technologies is our primary focus.
Thank you, Denise. In looking at entrepreneurs, what typically don't they know when they come to work with you, and what would make them more effective in engaging with your organization? And let's go ahead and kick it off with Vulaj Fitzsimmons from PTAC.
So the biggest thing with entrepreneurs that when they come to the PTAC and are interested in selling to the government, typically we're working with existing businesses at least 1 year in business. However, if an entrepreneur is coming to us and seeking assistance with small business innovation research grants and things of that nature, we certainly are directed by the Department of Defense to work with them. We are a program, or we actually operate under a cooperative agreement with the DoD. And of course, as Anna mentioned, we're a program hosted through Monroe County for the 9-county region. So we're not going to turn anyone away. And if, an entrepreneur isn't quite there yet, may need some assistance with startup resources, we're going to refer them to the appropriate agency, whether it's Monroe County, whether it's the MEP, whether it's the SBA. But otherwise, we're going to sit down with them and guide them through an SBIR process if that's what they're looking to achieve. If they have past performance that indicates that their business is based on their past performance. So, you've been in IT for maybe 10 years and now you've started your own business, that counts as past performance. So we're certainly going to work with you to move things along and figure out what that government marketing roadmap is like for you, and where to begin, whether it's registrations and certifications, or if it's the market outreach, who you should be selling to, whether a subcontractor or a prime contractor, and help build you from there. So our goal really is to teach businesses how to fish, if you will. That's the adage that I always like to use, and that goes for the entrepreneurs as well.
What do entrepreneurs typically not know, and what should they know in wanting to work with Monroe County?
I think oftentimes entrepreneurs, before they have a business plan, before they're really ready for prime time and have a relationship with a financial institution, with an accountant, in some cases with an attorney, they're approaching the county looking for support. Before you come to Monroe County, you do have to have a vetted business plan. You have to have some of your own skin in the game financially before we can start to work with you. We don't have venture capital to provide on behalf of the county. You need to have already kind of gone through those early stage steps before approaching us looking for incentives and looking for support. Also, some of our more lucrative incentives those particularly that are offered through COMIDA, the property tax abatements, sales tax exemptions, it sounds in theory like any business owner of any size can take advantage of those, but it really doesn't make a ton of sense unless you're spending at least $500,000 to $1 million on an expansion project. So you really have to be at an advanced stage of expansion and development before it's really attractive for you to come to us. And that raises the larger issue of what can the county do to better serve micro enterprise. And I made the point earlier that we are exploring in the very near term, launching a microfinance program. During COVID, we took $40 million of CARES Act funding that was directed to Monroe County, and we pushed those dollars out into the small business community in the form of small grants, specifically for retail and service-based businesses that were impacted directly by COVID-19 and had to shut down. And what we learned through that whole effort was these businesses, these mom and pop businesses in our commercial corridors, and also small startup businesses in the tech landscape are those that are most vulnerable to changing economic conditions, and also those that are probably the least served by the county's existing program portfolio. So to that end, that's why we're looking at setting up a sustained microloan program. We also just set up a new countywide MWBE certification program that Anna Vulaj Fitzsimmons is plugged in with. We are a relationship cultivator. So when a business comes to us and we don't have a financial instrument that we can assist them with, we're going to work to connect the entrepreneur with a resource that's better suited to their needs. And we also want to hear their ideas and suggestions.
Then we'll target the Air Force to answer that same question as to what do entrepreneurs typically not know that they should know in coming to work with you. We've talked a little about entrepreneurs that are at the very beginning, but I'm assuming to come work with the Air Force, they need to be a bit further along. But please educate me in what that looks like and when you want to be talking to entrepreneurs and their technologies.
One of the things that most small businesses need to understand is they need to know what the requirements are to be able to work within the government, whether it's the Air Force or any other entity, Marines, Army, Navy. What are the requirements of that organization for the technologies in which they are creating? And also small businesses need to know the data rights, their IP rights. They need to know that they have to register in SAM, and they need to make sure that they're not just registered for grants. They have to make sure that they're registered for the government contracts as well. We have a lot of resources out there. And, within the Information Directorate, we have our small business office, which we have a small business specialist that can work with 8A, HubZone, woman-owned, veteran-owned, disabled small businesses, as well as myself in the SuperSitter program, AppWorks Liaison. So there's a lot of opportunities for the entrepreneurs in the new, right? If they're new, it's awesome because they have these great new ideas that maybe someone else didn't think about. So we do have opportunities for them to actually step in. So that's that small business technology transfer program. They have the opportunity to work with a nonprofit, such as a university, so that they can grow their technology and be able to move on to that phase 2 of whether it's a product and then, get through that valley of death to be able to even move on to a phase 3. So there are opportunities for small businesses in the basic research level. But then the higher level technology readiness folks that have companies that, they already have a product or hardware, software, a widget, whatever the case may be, there's those opportunities as well. But there's the ones in between that are kind of stuck and they still need that additional help. So there's many things and many resources that we do have that will help guide, whether it's within the information directorate or one of our other technical directorates that really give the small businesses such a wide array of things that they can do within the government.
That's a great perspective. Thank you. And what I keep thinking as I'm listening is that, even if it's a no the first time, there's going to be multiple entry points for an entrepreneur and their company. One key piece is to make the approach and then also learn and make the connections to the other organizations, because it might not be right now for a particular group, but then again, they can refer you to where you need to go next.
Absolutely.
Anna, what is one piece of advice for folks that are looking to take advantage of PTAC and learn more about it?
If somebody is looking to submit a contract or a proposal or looking to bid on a contract, first thing I'm going to say is read it again, and read it a third time. And then let's sit down and review to make sure that you're capable of really delivering this product on time and within the scope of the contract. Really, the worst thing anybody can do, unfortunately, is get really eager, and everybody wants to sell to the government, is eager to make that money, but get maybe just a little too eager and bid on a contract that may be a little bit outside of their scope, and then not be able to perform well. So we want to avoid that right up front, making sure that they're establishing a great performance record and history right out the gate. So reading that contract, and then, before that even, we're going to make sure that we review all their registrations to make sure those are in place, reading all the terms and conditions and understanding all those terms and conditions, and answering any questions that they may have regarding that. Looking at any potential certifications that they may qualify for that give them a leg up or an assist, in terms of meeting any set-aside goals that the government may have, whether you're a minority-owned firm or a woman-owned firm or a service-disabled veteran-owned firm located in a hub zone. What have you. And as Anna mentioned, that even applies to the local level. Monroe County's new MWBE certification program is wonderful. The new administration for the first time has set under Adam Bello, County Executive Adam Bello, has set goals on county contracts, which you've never seen before. So it's really opening up wide the opportunities that are out there, but making sure that you're ready for those opportunities and competing to the best of your ability.
Thank you. Well, go ahead and move on to Anna. What piece of advice would you give to entrepreneurs as they look to reach out to Monroe County?
My advice to entrepreneurs is to not be shy. We need to hear from area entrepreneurs about what they're experiencing on the ground so that we can tailor and innovate our programs. We're a unit of local government. We move slowly, but we're trying to improve, and we're trying to dust off some of the legacy program incentives that we've offered for eons and repurpose them for a new generation, a new era in business growth. And so what I want is for businesses to call me, to call Anna Vulaj Fitzsimmons, to email us, to visit our website and kick the tires on our programs, and to let us know what's missing. Because we're not going to be able to be all things to all entrepreneurs, but we want to improve upon what we offer. And what I'd like to see in the near term is for us to expand the audience of businesses that we're serving to include a whole lot more small, early stage startup businesses and businesses in the emerging technology fields, rather than so many traditional advanced manufacturing businesses that have been in Greater Rochester for decades and decades and know about our programs inside and out. That's my main piece of advice, is to get in touch with us. Please talk to us about what you're experiencing and share your ideas, and don't be intimidated, and understand that we're learning just like all of you are, and we're trying to improve just like all of you are.
Yeah, that's key, I think, is that our end goal for each of us is how do we best provide services, and then also help the company grow and become a stronger contributor to their workspace. Again, as we look at sort of the Air Force programs, a little different focus, but yet very broad in who they can bring into their organization and support through entrepreneurs. What is the piece of advice that you have as an organization goes to approach you?
One of the things that we, definitely look at is that open communication. We make sure that we talk with every small business that reaches out to us. And or we have our scientists and engineers that actually reach out to us and say, hey, could you talk to this company? Absolutely. The key is collaboration. The key is getting in front of the right people. We definitely try to make sure that if it doesn't fit, we'll find a place where we hopefully can get it to fit. And that's what our technical directorates do across the board. We all work in different areas, but yet we're all tied together. So the small businesses have to be able to understand that reaching out and researching out on the websites and seeing who is where or where their technology might fit and then contacting those folks is exactly what they need to do. When the topics that we write and or AFWorks or the open BAAs that are out there for the small businesses, there's a time frame that you're allowed to ask questions, and that's during the pre-release. And so we definitely make sure that during that time, if the technical point of contact is listed in the topic, these small businesses have the opportunity to reach out to them and ask the technical questions. And then if there's business questions, they reach out to us and or the Air Force Cyber Program Office. We can give them a better understanding of what it is that they may need to do or who the right person is to talk to. We work with all the small businesses to help try and make this process a little bit easier. And we talk about period of performance, the award amounts. We try to give every aspect that we can in this ever-changing world of the CyberSitter program. So it's a great opportunity. And I hope this definitely reaches out to, the small businesses and opens up that door for them.
As we look at entrepreneurs and they start to interact with your organization, what is a typical timeline or what should their expectations be between the solicitation and then the awards? And how does that process flow?
Each organization is different depending on when the solicitation starts, right? Where the pre-release is from open to close. That tends to be a couple of months. And then we have to go into the evaluation process, the source selection process. And then from there, it's the contractual packages that go into the contracting shop. So usually I'm going to say, between 100 and 120 days from time to end, right? Because you have that 90-day period of award. And it takes time for them to, work all of the negotiations and so on and so forth. The timeline can definitely be anywhere from, I'm going to say 3 to 6 months. But it all depends on what organization you're going through too. Like AFWorks is a lot different. They can award in a day or two, but that's because of a whole different process that they do that we don't. So there's many things that, are calculated in there.
Thank you, Denise. So there's definitely a learning curve for entrepreneurs as they start down this path with each of the organizations and programs that they're looking at.
Yes, very much. And, they need to make sure that they really do understand how the organizations run. But again, we do have timelines that are to be met, and we do our best in making sure that happens. And we have our own contracting shop and we have our own finance shop right at our organization. So it's all, we can walk downstairs and talk to each other, we can walk across the hall and talk to each other. So that's a great part for us because we have everybody right in the same building.
What is the typical time frame when someone engages with PTAC that they might have a SAM's registration and be bidding on a contract?
A SAM registration, we can get done with someone over the phone within an hour. The only hiccup right now with SAM is that there's a brand new system and there's a backlog and delay. So we advise right now currently that small businesses and entrepreneurs that are reaching out to us and aren't in SAM but have a deadline to bid on a contract, that they get in touch with us as soon as possible. Now, if the case does come up where there is a bid deadline, the PTACs nationwide, because we are a network of 95 PTACs nationwide, have the ability we have a hotline number that they've granted us that we can actually try to push their issue if it is contract related. But, if you're doing an SBIR with the Air Force, as Denise was mentioning, and you are just getting started in the process, the first thing you want to do, get that SAM registration. We'll guide you right over the phone. And if it's a renewal, because you do have to renew SAM every year, those take even less time. We could get that done in less than 30 minutes on a good day. So, it's something that's just a casual registration on our part, but a critical one, basically, to doing business with the federal government. So really important, and we're always ready and able to assist. And there's plenty of folks that are capable of doing SAM on their own. That's great, sam.gov. But you have to be careful to the websites that you're going to, because there are a lot of third-party websites that will charge for a SAM registration, and SAM is a free registration. So please know that. And wherever you're listening from, we can always direct you to the PTAC in your area as well.
And so in looking at that too, from Monroe County, what is the typical engagement time from an entrepreneur reaching out to when they have an interaction and ability to move forward?
So typically, we have an approval process with our boards of directors around our incentive programs. So it's usually about a 6-week turnaround time between when you initially reach out. If everything moves expeditiously and you get your application materials pulled together in a realistic time frame, about 6 weeks from initial outreach to final stamp of approval, and you're moving forward. So let's say you're coming to us for a sales and use tax exemption package. You make a phone call, we walk you through our application, you fill it out. We bring it before our board at our monthly meeting. Our MCIDC board meets the second Wednesday of the month. Our COMIDA board of directors meets the third Tuesday of every month. We present the project, the board approves, and you're walking away with your sales tax exemption certificate within a matter of a handful of weeks. And we like to call ourselves a user-friendly team. So as long as there's an open channel of communication back and forth, everything can move pretty quickly. And we can move even faster than 6 weeks in instances where there's a time crunch. And then sometimes it takes longer when there are complications.
Great. Thank you for the time and energy you've given today. Let us know how best to contact your organization, and then if there's anything else that we should know.
If you go to search for the Information Directorate, you can just type in AFRL Information Directorate and it'll pop up. And it'll actually give you our organization's information, and you'll locate me on there as well as the small business specialist. And check the Air Force Ciber Sitter site. All of our names are on there as well. That is one of the ways to reach out. And if you reach out to your local PTAC, they'll be more than happy to give my contact information. And we'd be more than happy to sit down and have a conversation and answer any of the questions that you have. And also, too, we have the Innovari Advancement Center, which is the IAC. That's an open campus that we can go and have discussions there if you're in town. Remember, we are in Rome, New York. Wouldn't suggest you come up during the winter. And if you're out of the New York area, the weather does get a little tough up there. But you can go, and it's an open campus environment. There's opportunities there as well. You can look them up on Google as well, Innovari Advancement Center, and they'll be able to help you, get in connection with a lot of other folks as well.
Anna, if you wouldn't mind covering a little bit of how to reach out to Monroe County, and then also if there's any additional advice you'd like to give our listeners.
Best way to get in touch with us is go to our webpage at monroecountybusiness.org. That is a web portal that'll take you through all of the different COMIDA and MCIDC and Monroe County Economic and Workforce Development programs. And all our contact info is there as well, including a project inquiry worksheet that's really easy to fill out. So depending on your project, whether it's teeny tiny or it's huge, or you just have a question, you can fill out the form. It lands directly in our whole team's inboxes, and we'll get back to you. My direct line is 585-753-2012. So you can call me, or you could just call our main extension at 753-2000. And that's another way to get in touch with us. And my only point of advice is just communication. Please reach out. Please share your ideas. We don't pretend to be the smartest people in the room. We are the program administrators. We're trying to serve business owners as best we possibly can. Our priority is growing the regional economy, making Monroe County a better place for small business owners, helping people find great jobs. And we're not business owners by trade. We're not technologists by trade. We're not the ones with the great business ideas. So I want to do my best to cultivate stronger relationships with business owners, with entrepreneurs, so that we can improve and bolster our programs.
Thank you, Anna. Yeah, that's very exciting to know kind of how we all fit together and all our goals are the same. So Anna, for PTAC, one last quick question. How do we reach out to PTAC? And then any last words of advice for our listeners?
Folks can go to our website at www.monroecountyfingerlakesptac.org, and they can complete a form online, and one of our counselors will get right back to them to set up a one-on-one session and get that interaction rolling, help them with assessing what direction they may want to go to in the government contracting arena. Or they can call me directly at 585-753-2017. I'm happy to talk to them and to let them know, what capabilities they would need in order to get started and to assist them in that route. And I just want to let them know that they're never alone. You could tell, Annette, by talking to Anna and Denise at the Air Force, that we're all connected. And of course, with MEP and NextCorps, we all know one another. We know what the resources are that are out there for businesses. We're not duplicating services, and that's why we're so connected, to make sure that we're maximizing our time and their time. So definitely just give us a call, and we'll be able to let you know how we can help you in the most efficient way possible, and that they don't have to go it alone. They never have to go it alone.
Thank you again for listening in on this podcast. Please join us on the next Forward Faster podcast.